Ladies and gentlemen, the 76ers finally fixed their biggest issue. And it's not the health of Joel Embiid. It is not the health of Paul George. It is not trying to get two guys on the court consistently who are taking up 70% of the salary cap. It is not the return of Jared McCain. It is not finding out if VJ Edgecombe was the right pick in the draft. It is not Tyrese Maxey getting his percentages back up from 2 years ago from where they were last year. None of that. The 76ers finally fixed their biggest issue, and that is their alternate jerseys. Yes, the 76ers are bringing back the 2001 black Allen Iverson era jersey for the 2026 season. And this will definitely, number one, make the fan base happy. Number two, fix all of their issues. And number three, fill the arena so that Josh Harris can sell his season tickets before the season starts. This is the issue that they needed to tackle, and they tackled it. And what better season to bring them back than a season directly after a season where they won 25 games, where Paul George played in 21 games, where Joel Embiid played in 13 games, and they ended up shamelessly tanking the end of the season. What better season to pay homage to the 2001 Allen Iverson era than this upcoming season, where Paul George has hurt himself again in a workout and had knee surgery already. And Joel Embiid has told us straight up that he is not rushing back this time, did not sound very enthusiastic about coming back this season at all or playing basketball ever again. What better season to bring back the 2001 Allen Iverson era alternate jerseys than this upcoming season? I couldn't think of a better time to bring them back. My guy RB, shout out my guy RB. He said these jerseys are going to be fire. I just wanted to fix it, so I fixed it. And there's what the picture should be realistically. Let's talk about the 2001 team for a second, because the 2001 team and this upcoming team and the recent 76ers teams actually have a lot in common if you really think about it. The 2001 team, well, first I'm going to list all the things they don't have in common, okay? The 2001 team had a really, really good coach with a really, really good philosophy in Larry Brown. The 76ers don't have that right now. The 76ers had a team built perfectly around a superstar. And while they didn't have that second star that Allen Iverson probably should have had plenty of times in his career, this team was built perfectly around Allen Iverson, and the philosophy and the strategy was set up and implemented perfectly to take advantage of Allen Iverson's strengths while attempting to hide his weaknesses. He was undersized. Yes, he was a defensive liability. Yes, he was a very good steals guy in the NBA because of his speed and his anticipation in the passing lanes, but he was not a good one-on-one defender. But the rest of the team was full of good defenders. And Larry Brown put Allen Iverson in a position to succeed. He came into the league as a point guard. Larry Brown quickly realized Allen Iverson was best playing off ball to take advantage of his speed and run him off of baseline screens end to end, tire out the defense, and let him get buckets because Allen Iverson just didn't get tired. He averaged 41 minutes per game in his career. This team had no business going as far as it did, but they were the number one defense in the NBA. They started the season 10-0. They beat the Ray Allen Glenn Robinson Bucks in the playoffs. They beat the Vince Carter Toronto Raptors in the playoffs. That came down to a thrilling Game 7 final shot attempt by Vince Carter off the back of the rim. And they went to the NBA Finals in 2001, where they were completely outmatched by possibly the greatest team of all time, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, both in their primes. Kobe maybe a little before his prime. Shaq still in his prime, towards the end of his prime, but I'll say both players were still well within their primes. Shaquille O'Neal was totally unstoppable. Kobe Bryant was totally unstoppable. They didn't have a shot at all, but they did win Game 1 on the back of a 48-point performance by Allen Iverson in 2001 and a game-winning floater by one Eric Snow. Let me tell you what this team had actually in common with current era 76ers teams. This team was the number 1 seed in the East, started the season 10-0, and suffered a devastating injury in February 2001. Theo Ratliff was leading the league in blocks, and shout out to Mutombo and RIP to one of the GOATs, Mutombo, but a lot of people believe Theo Ratliff fit the play style of this team better than Dikembe Mutombo did, because this team liked to fly up and down the floor in transition, play fast, and tire out defenses. They were 36-17 when Theo Ratliff was diagnosed with a wrist injury February 2nd. They traded Theo Ratliff at the deadline on February 22nd, along with Tony Kukoc, for Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo averaged 17, 12, 5, and 4. I'm not saying he wasn't great. He was. And I'm not saying Dikembe or Theo Ratliff would have stopped Shaquille O'Neal in 2001. But there is an argument to be made that that injury slowed them down completely. And once they got to the NBA Finals, they didn't stand a chance at slowing down the Lakers as much as maybe they could have with Theo Ratliff at center versus Mutombo. Anybody who watched it, Dikembe Mutombo didn't stand a chance. Shaquille O'Neal was putting his shoulder into his face and knocking him out of bounds and dunking on him basically every time down the floor. Our only hope was them calling offensive fouls on Shaquille O'Neal, which happened a couple times but wasn't enough. But that injury could possibly have stopped this team from winning a championship in 2001. So much like current Sixers teams, that team also suffered an injury. One more thing. Tony Kukoc was traded along with Theo Ratliff for Dikembe Mutombo. Tony Kukoc in 2001 for the 76ers averaged 8 points per game. For the rest of the season with the Atlanta Hawks, Tony Kukoc averaged 20 points per game on 49% from the field and 48% from three, on 5 3-pointers a game, only 1.6 per game with the Sixers, and 15 field goal attempts per game, only 7 against the 7 a game for the 76ers. So it can be said that maybe, at least the numbers are saying, that Larry Brown was underutilizing Tony Kukoc in the Allen Iverson-centric offense, and as soon as he got to the Atlanta Hawks, putting up twice the amount of shots, he averaged 20 points per game. I'm just saying that's a very Sixers thing, to trade a guy who you don't think is doing a whole lot. He goes to a new team and he averages 20 points per game. And the Theo Ratliff injury, I believe, definitely slowed them down. I love what Dikembe Mutombo did, but they were a defensive force and a very high-paced, fast team with Theo Ratliff at center. He had a wrist injury. They traded him for Mutombo. They lost. Now, chances are they lose anyway. I just wanted to point out, for those that weren't around in this era, for some of the younger guys or maybe people that forgot, that Even the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers team was held back by injury. But anyway, the 76ers are bringing back the 2001 jerseys. That means absolutely nothing if Joel Embiid and Paul George can't get on the floor. Nope. We're back to being negative, man. We're back to keeping it real, man. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.